Hello everyone and welcome to my channel and a special welcome to my very first video. That being said, I don't know how it's going to go and I'm by no means a Lego Fortnite master, but I do really enjoy the mode and I'm sure since you're here, that means you do too. At least to some degree. That's why this video is going to be a sort of speculation video on what Epic could potentially add to the mode. Some of these are pretty basic and pretty similar to things that are already in the game, but expanded a little bit. But some of these are things that would be pretty crazy and really awesome if they were added. I'm going to have a little icon on the top right to indicate how likely or unlikely these are to be added. Red being unlikely, yellow being possible, and green being very likely to be added. Although in my opinion, I think all of these would be something that I would like to see added at some point. Okay, now with all that out of the way, we can finally get started. And the first thing that I think could be added would be pets. This is probably the most likely thing on the entire list to be added. Not only is it a pretty basic addition since we already have followers and farm animals were just recently introduced with the feature to follow you to your camp, but on top of that, Lego Cat Island mode is basically a pet simulator. This could kind of be Epic's way of testing a pet system because it would be really easy to cross that over into the main survival mode. These pets could also come with some sort of benefit, like how most pets in RPG games function. And at the most basic level, pets would just act like wolves and aid the player in combat. But if you wanted to get a little more spicy with it, they could give your character unique stat bumps or abilities. Imagine an octopus pet that could act as a grappler does right now, but with no limit of the number of grapples. Kind of wish that was in the game because octopi are way more cool and cute than most people give them credit for. Next up would be something that I think could change the entire way the game is played. And that would be mechs. I had gotten the idea of them adding mechs ever since the Mechanical Mayhem update. The vehicle building is so much fun in Lego Fortnite and hands down my favorite thing to do when I got some time to kill. These mechs would function similar to the player in terms of movement, but much slower. But in return, you'd be granted massive strength and durability. The extra strength could decrease mining time, which is how I think the mechs should be used for in the majority of cases. This isn't going to be some enemy wiping machine. The mechs could be made of many brute scales as well, giving that rare item a very worthwhile use beyond just upgrading the crafting bench and town square. And to power the mech, you would need to equip a power cell to each limb for balancing reasons, obviously. This would make for a very fun way to collect resources while keeping yourself very safe. And it would honestly just be super cool to equip a mech. Who doesn't want to walk around in a giant mech suit? Come on! Now for something that I'm kind of surprised wasn't in the game at launch, honestly, and it's very simple, and that's the Skeleton Lord or Boss Skeleton, or whatever you want to call it. We have skeleton wolves already, so maybe these calcium canines would like a master. It'd basically just be a large brute-sized skeleton that's a little stronger than the skeleton wolves. These would only be found in caves, however, since the caves are kind of lacking a powerful enemy type, besides the skeleton wolves. But those are pretty easy to handle, and honestly, when you have a villager with you, you can just stagger them until they're kind of dead. Or more dead, I guess. In my opinion, the Skeleton Lord is kind of needed right now because the cave systems are kind of safe. Almost a little bit too safe, as long as you're careful. There's none of those really crazy enemies that'll chase you down and, force you to fight with your back against the wall or anything, like how brutes do. You can't just run away from a brute because one straight attack can literally kill you unless you're higher leveled and have some good charms on you. And it would just kind of honestly add that little bit of challenge that I think the game needs, because right now, in the overall game sense, it's kind of easy to get in the caves and get what you need. And I feel like the risk in the caves should be a lot higher, especially in the higher tier caves like the desert and the ice ones. They should definitely not be something you just walk into with a villager and stagger whatever the strongest enemy type in there is. Okay, so this next one is something that I personally want added, so I don't even know if it's on Epic's radar, but I think the world of Lego Fortnite would benefit from friendly encampments. Sometimes the world can feel really barren, and it's kind of a shame because the worlds are so big, and having something like a friendly encampment could make the world feel so much more alive. Especially when the only other survivors in this world all want to see you dismantled and tossed in the trash. And along those lines, I think that maybe some more random encounters should be added, and the ones that we do have could be tweaked or changed so that they could be a little more interesting. Lego Fortnite already has some randomish encounters, like loot llamas and the rainbow friends, but they don't really add all that much to the gameplay besides some rewards. Maybe a way that they could be more interesting would be through variety. Like maybe have a brute be attracted to enemy camps when you fight them, or have fun weather related events like raining fish, similar to the raining slime in Terraria. And lastly, and most important of all, the number one thing that should be added to Lego Fortnite, which is beyond necessary, and I'm so surprised anyone can even play this game without, is the anchor. I have seen too many precious ships be destroyed by the landing process that I've lost sleep over. Weighing your ship down, or God forbid you need to pop a perfectly placed balloon, is just unacceptable. This can't keep going on. I don't know how much longer I can take it. Please, Epic, if you hear this, help me. And with that, the main list is over. But there are some honorable mentions that I need to mention. Firstly, cannons. Cannons would be great for making your ships feel a lot more powerful and useful, other than just moving you around places. And having more ways to attack can never hurt. Secondly, character stats. I already mentioned it earlier with the pets, but I think having some character stats could really help you in different ways, like maybe augmenting your power or speed. Thirdly, airplane wings. This kind of just a cosmetic thing, honestly. I want my planes to look like planes, and they don't really look like planes when you make them now. Fourthly, and I kind of wish I made this into a real point because it's something that I think actually should be added, is a magic system. It's just a basic RPG mechanic, and having spells could make the game feel a lot more flashy, because all we have to attack right now is swords, maybe an axe and a crossbow. The flashiest thing we have to attack with is some dynamite, and that's not really practical. But with that, the video is finally over. Were any of these ideas something that you also had? If so, you can sound off in the comments, call me mean names, or you can comment your own ideas. I'd love to hear them because I think this game has so many possibilities that basically all ideas are good ones. And honestly, the more creative, the more exciting it is to hear about them. But that is going to be all for now. I hope to see everyone soon.
Bye-bye.